We are now officially just 5 months away from the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, that is all set and ready to end the sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga itself, while also introducing many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, one exciting element of Episode 9 is that we do know that Kylo Ren is going to be used in a totally different way in this film, in comparison to how he was utilized in both The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And I think that's the more interesting factor of Episode 9, is that J.J. Abrams is trying to make this character a whole lot more evil than Darth Vader ever was in the originals and partially in Revenge of the Sith. I think what they're trying to do with this character is that they're really trying to make a true villain for the first and second act of Episode 9 before Palpatine comes into fruition. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of one of the scenes based within the second act of the film, where it's described to be a scene based within Kylo's throne room on board of his First Order Ravager ship, where the Knights of Ren eventually report to Kylo and all kneel down to him. It said that one of the scenes that were shot during the month of November involved multiple scenes where the 6 unnamed actors who portrayed the Knights called Kylo by the name of Jedi Killer, as well as the actors who portrayed the Sith Troopers, referring to Kylo Ren as the Jedi Killer since the Sith Troopers are said to be inspired by the dark side of the Force. It said that Kylo gained this name within the First Order after the rumors started and spreaded of how Kylo killed the majority of Luke's Jedi students, and how at one point in time Kylo thought he had killed Luke during his temple destruction, only to find out later on that Luke was alive. Kylo is said to be called the Jedi Killer multiple times in the film, mainly only in the second act, and is a callback to what J.J. Abrams was originally going to call Kylo Ren in Episode 7. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 at the heart is really going to be a nostalgic film. It's really going to have a lot of callbacks to the prequels and the originals, etc. But at the same exact time, they're introducing a lot of the abandoned ideas from Episode 7 and are somewhat toying around with this in Episode 9, which is totally JJ. We understand that J.J. Abrams had a lot of ideas for 7 that never made it to the final cut, and that he's using a lot of those older concepts in Episode 9. I mean, one great example is, of course, the Death Star. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there was an original idea for Episode 7 of the Death Star wreckage underneath the ocean of an unknown world for Episode 7, and that's now in Episode 9. So that's one great example right then and there. So J.J. Abrams, he's using a lot of source material from old ideas for Episode 7, which I think is rather interesting, because I don't know about you guys, but after I saw The Force Awakens and I was looking through the art book of The Force Awakens, or whatever it was called, Art of The Force Awakens, there's a lot of great concepts in there by JJ, a lot of different ideas that were never utilized in the final cut. So the fact that JJ is falling back to that now in Episode 9, I think is a really good move by Disney, Lucasfilm, and himself. So, Kylo Ren being referred to as the Jedi Killer. Now, once again, this is a callback to what Kylo Ren was originally going to be named in Episode 7, sort of similar to what they were doing with Rey in this film, where she's going to use the alias of Kira, where Kira was supposed to be her real name in The Force Awakens. But I digress. What's really interesting about this is that we also have the Sith Troopers, who refer to Kylo Ren as the Jedi Killer as well. And the reason as to why they call him this is because after Kylo Ren joined the First Order, the rumors started spreading around that he was the one responsible, in which he was, for killing a majority of Luke Skywalker's Jedi students / Jedi, Knights, or whatever you want to call them, Padawans. We do know that Episode 9 is really going to tap into that side of the actual sequel trilogy, getting to know a little bit more about Kylo's backstory. In fact, I don't know if you guys tuned in to SDCC just yesterday or the day beforehand, but at San Diego Comic-Con, we learned that there is going to be a mini-series, I think it's a comic if I'm not mistaken, about Kylo Ren's rise to power, called, of course, The Rise of Kylo Ren. That's the new series. It's a set of series in the forms of comics, where we do get to learn more about the Knights of Ren, their backstory, as well as Kylo Ren. So, with that being said, this movie really is setting up a lot of things, and it's going to have a lot of connecting canon material, like we just actually heard of a couple of days ago, such as the rise of Kylo Ren. Now, the Knights of Ren calling him the Jedi Killer, it's mostly going to be within the second act only. He's not going to be referred to as the Jedi Killer for the whole entire film. This is just going to be used as a great way for J.J. Abrams to have fun with the character, to give Kylo Ren a new name, if you will, in order to really, bring us back to the original ideas of The Force Awakens itself. So, like I say, we are now just under 5 months away from the release of Episode 9. We got 151 days to go until this movie drops, which honestly ain't that far away if you think about it. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.